And we're back for another uh, week of the
Hey
My.
guys, we're back with the podcast that we're doing, and this is the one that we do usually. So it's another episode of that. For those of you who've been to the previous one, expect more of the same. Today we're focusing on the finale of the new version of Kino's Journey. We have been doing the whole season. It's been very popular, probably the most popular thing we've ever done. It was my idea to do Kino's Journey, and it's the best video ever, which only shows how fantastic I am and how fantastic the podcast was. So you probably will want to just listen to this one over and over again as we compare Kino's Journey to this other kind of no-name anime that we watch called My Hero Academia. And we will be comparing Froppy to Hermes today, and that'll be the entirety of the discussion.
Can you imagine if we actually did that? I wouldn't be. I would.
Just
I
a
would.
whole
I wouldn't be a
episode.
part of that. I wouldn't be a part of that.
Comparing Froppy to Hermes, that would be fantastic. I'd be in for it.
I wouldn't be a part of that. I think I'd just let you have the podcast at that point.
Oh, that's sad.
I don't know. I really don't want to compare a sentient motorcycle to an actual live girl. I feel like there's a line that must be crossed to do that kind of thing. Um,
Uh, I mean,
don't think about it too much.
Hermes is people too, isn't he?
He's a motorcycle. Can talk
Uh
inexplicably.
huh.
We're not gonna
See, I
get. We're
told
not.
you.
I'm not gonna get into this because, like, for me, it just like I might be over it, but right now it's just like I don't. I think we've already credit over that, and I know like that probably hurt you to watch that show in some small ways, not a lot. Like you're not in pain, but I know
It
you
was
weren't
like
happy
I
with
felt
it.
like it was kind of my duty as a big fan of Kino's Journey to um kind of due diligence my way through it and see like what it was. It was mostly not good.
I enjoyed some small sections of it. I think I enjoyed that. I think I enjoyed more of that show than you did, but
Hmm.
I think that was to be expected. Um,
I mean, if I was to throw this out here and just tell me what you think, it's the worst anime we've reviewed.
that we reviewed.
Of all the animes we've reviewed, it's the worst one. Oh, we're probably 12.
I'm just trying to think about the shows that we.
The second worst is probably Daima.
I really don't. That. I don't actually. Speaking of Daima, I guess since we're already here and this is the anime podcast,
Uh-huh.
uh, apparently, I think I've already said this, but I guess it bears uttering again. There was some talk about Daima and Akira Toriyama's actual inclusion in the show. Apparently, as this show was being animated, he was writing the story. So I don't know where. I don't know what episode he must have been writing the story for. But apparently, he had been in the process of writing the story.
Uh-huh.
So, based off of the way that show ended, and Kira Toriyama-san's unfortunate passing, I'm willing to believe there was supposed to be a season 2.
Okay.
That's my humble belief. But the way it ended, because you agree, right? The way they ended it was really weird. They kind of just showed that there was more of those eyes everywhere. Like there, to me, it seemed like that area, that whole entire dimension was gonna probably be explored more. Um, but unfortunately, because Akira died, passed, well, we will never see that. And I guess
You know how they say everything has a positive silver lining? I think probably the silver lining to Toriyama dying would,
wow.
if there had to be one,
Um,
is that they didn't make more of those.
I think it was better than you're giving it credit for. I enjoyed that for the aspect of the Dragon Ball stuff. Now, with that being said, not that I not that I hated any of the extra. transformations that were put into the show. I honestly think what Dragon Ball Daima did, and I think maybe this is gonna be one of those situations that I think GT have found itself in, and it'll
Uh-huh.
probably resolve itself 10 years from now. Uh, was the fact that to tell a story as Akira Toriyama-san does. I know I'm putting Simon in his name now because I've never done that before, and I'm letting people know that I'm aware I'm doing it. Don't worry about it. I'll stop it in a minute. Uh,
Okay.
but one of the things I think he did, and I think it's something that apparently might have just been a part of his nature to begin with. He wanted to tell a story, and he was not going to let anybody get in the way of that. Even his own story. uh, the unfortunate passing of Akira Toriyama led to an unfortunate inclusion that kind of split the fandom and also split the canonicity of it all. And unfortunately for Toritaro, he had something to say about that. And this isn't gonna
Uh-huh.
make anybody happy. I'm just prefacing this right now. I read that he said that he believes every story is canon,
Mhm.
is what he said. So in his mind and in his, because right now he is the grand poobah. He is Popo. Something's wrong with that statement. I'm gonna carry on. He is the arbiter of whatever happens next in Dragon Ball. Um, so like I mean, his word is the bond of the show. So apparently, regardless of like how you rationalize what happened in Daima, it did happen. Now I will say I just not thought about this.
Happen in no, what the hell does that even mean? Happen in what?
It, I just not thought about this. I don't know how true this would be, but it would be kind of funny if this actually was how it happened. There is like in the Xenoverse series, there is the timeline split, but they don't split like they
Mhm.
do when Future Trunks came back to help Goku survive the virus. Um, but apparently that's kind of where the split in the games happen, and it happens like because they made what happened in the games happen in the anime, where there's a version of Goku and Vegeta that exists separate to the version of Goku and Vegeta that we know, and like they're just time travelers for whatever weird reason. But the thing is about them, and you saw this even in the Dragon Ball show that you didn't like because you said it was a bunch of BS. Which I mean, I'm not gonna argue that, but they achieved Super Saiyan 4, but they didn't achieve Super Saiyan God for whatever reason. Like in that particular timeline, that those Goku and Vegeta never ascended to God form,
Mhm.
but they did ascend to Super Saiyan 4. So in all honesty, like that's probably maybe that's really what that Goku and that Vegeta are, is like they're that Goku Vegeta back when before they became time travelers. How that happened, why that happened, I'm not all that interested in it. I'm there for to see what happens. It's kind of like where I'm at with Dragon Ball Z, and it's been where I'm at with Dragon Ball Z for a while now. So like, while the canon argument does bug me, uh, with the
There's no
with the
it doesn't make
realization.
it doesn't make any sense that that would be canon.
Well, the Xeno Goku and the Xeno Vegeta are like, aren't they? Like that version of time traveling Goku and Vegeta, because they don't have like that version of Goku and Vegeta don't have Super Saiyan God. They just don't.
Mhm.
Um,
Are you talking about I'm sorry, are you talking about Daima being canon?
yeah, according to Toritaro, everything that Dragon Ball Diamond is canon. That's what he says.
Or
He
did
believes
nobody
that they're
just
canon. He just
it's just that
says,
nobody ever talked about Super Saiyan 4 again.
when I'm rationalizing with it, this must be Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta, the Xeno first people versions of Goku and Vegeta, the ones that we
Uh-huh.
don't ever see because they're in a time traveling for whatever reason, and
Uh-huh.
they're just time travelers. I don't.
So it's canon and it's a canon in something that doesn't exist.
They exist because it happened in the show, and the regular Goku and Vegeta showed up in that one. I know it
Mhm.
makes absolutely no sense. I know. I'm not like really fighting all that hard. I'm just saying like I don't think Daima is bad because you like because like I don't think Diamond's bad. Period. I actually enjoyed it. There is some minor issues, but for me, it's like um I agree with what one YouTuber said as he was reviewing this, and he says like they shouldn't really make this an anthology, and that way Dragon Ball can have all kinds of freaking stories, and like they're all canon. They really won't matter because none of them intersect with each other. Because let's be real, like if we the canonicity of Daima doesn't exactly exclude the canonicity of Super, but what that does is show that Kaioshin has a name, but for whatever reason he does never say it in the current canon of the show that we know of. But he does say it in the canon of the show that we don't know of. Like there's like two versions of canon. I mean, there's just like again, Japanese apparently just they have a story to tell. They're not gonna let the story that happened beforehand impede the story that they're gonna tell.
Uh-huh.
It's like what I understand is like they care about canon, but they're not gonna let the canon like if they have a story that they want to tell, they're not gonna let what happened currently in the timeline like impede what they want to tell. So Akira just had a story he wanted to tell in the demon world, and unfortunately, it kind of just you know I guess that's a stomp, but kind of just like you're trying to figure out where the heck Beerus fits into all this and why Goku never used Super Saiyan 4 during that fight. Though I guess the other argument could be too, not that Goku forgot that he has Super Saiyan 4, maybe he just could never access it.
Uh-huh.
Because like even though Goku does say in the thing that he thought he knew he was there, he just couldn't figure it out. It's physically possible that Super Saiyan 4 did the exact same thing that Ultra Instinct did. It's like Goku was able to access it only when he was in a demon world, and once he finally left it, he was unable to transform into it again. Because as far as I know, I don't think he transforms into it again after the fight with King Goma.
And he just never tried to figure out how to use it. He just assumed that that's it and let it go because Goku doesn't care about power-ups.
No,
He never
no,
had like
he
he
doesn't.
never had an episode where he goes like Dende, what the fuck?
He
Or
never.
anything like
Jesus, poor Dende. No, he doesn't really care about power. I was like, I didn't think that might be the real truth of the matter. That maybe Goku just doesn't give a fuck. And I say this only because there's a speech, well not speech. There's something that Goku does say at some point where he says that powering up beyond Super Saiyan is completely pointless. If like, we should really, yeah, it's during the freaking Cell Saga actually. He says that going beyond Super Saiyan, while it might be useful, is completely pointless. Like right now they need to train their base form to make their Super Saiyan stronger. Like the idea of powering up base form to make the other ascended forms stronger. Now, while that was to gain a power higher than Super Saiyan, there was no way that they knew that they could actually make Super Saiyan stronger. They just assumed because Frieza had multiple transformations. Just my
yeah.
at least it's my head canon. They had no reason to believe that there was a form beyond Super Saiyan. They had no reason. They just thought that maybe it's possible. But what they were trying to do was make base. They were just trying to make Super Saiyan stronger. But to do that, Goku figured that he needed to make his base form stronger. In all reality,
Uh,
that just means he doesn't really care about ascending past Super Saiyan. He's just trying to figure out if it's possible, and he did it twice. But yeah, I just kind of rationalize this whole thing. Is like at the same point, I think you can just say this is an anthology, and all of this stuff just happens. There's no real reason. I mean, if Akira was still alive, he could probably find some way to make it all make sense. But unfortunately, he passed away, and he left. He left a mess for Toritaro to clean up. I'm pretty sure Toritaro won't, and I know he won't because I heard that there is another anime coming, and it won't have anything to do with what's happening right now. It's like a whole new idea from what I'm hearing. You will learn more at some point. There is another anime in the works. It's not gonna deal with anything on the manga, so we're not gonna be dealing with anything, you know, anime related probably, if ever again. Which sucks because Toritaro made the Moro arc. He actually claimed that at some point. I'm not sure who asked him, whatever, but he claimed that yeah, Moro is his work. So like we know he can make a good story. Toritaro, I mean, again, he
yeah,
just
I've heard Moro is a good story.
but like he like I don't know what's going
Rumor
on.
has it.
I read it, so I mean it is good. But
Okay.
but
And they thought, instead of putting this fantastic, very popular moral arc into existence, why don't we do duh, duh,
well, I mean,
duh,
Daima was Akira
duh,
Toriyama
duh,
inserting himself
duh,
into
duh,
into
duh,
into it.
duh,
So
Daima!
we don't know why
Do you see how it sounds like vomiting?
we don't know how we don't know the original vision for Daima because Akira inserted himself into it.
Uh-huh.
So like I don't know what no one will know the original vision of Daima. So I don't know what was going on there originally. I know it had something to do with
Mhm.
Goku turning younger. When Akira heard that, he wanted to be involved. So um, telling him no, they said they they said saying no, Akira Toriyama-sama. They just said yes, Akira Toriyama-sama. But again, you don't say no to that man. He's one of those people apparently you just don't say no to. Like I mean, it's like with the guy who made I just said his name earlier. The guy who makes Metal Gear Solid. Don't say no to him. Got his name. Got his name. How did I forget his name? But the guy who makes
It's. I mean, you're gonna come up with the name, and I'm not gonna know it anyway.
but yeah, the guy who makes Metal Gear. People really love those games, and the Kira, and not Kira, but that guy has full reign to do what he wants with it. And well, I say full reign. Like there was something going on apparently between him and Sony at the time, or Konami, whatever, and they had a fight and he left. And that's kind of why he made his own video, and then eventually
Mhm.
released Death Stranding. That weird mess. That is so weird. I can't even begin to describe what I've seen because I never played it and probably never will. All I know, it's a packaging delivering simulator where you fight aliens of black mass, and apparently there's a baby involved. I don't know anything beyond that,
Mhm.
but it's a weird mess. But yeah, I don't think Diamond was that bad. It's like its own thing. You know, could have been better. Yeah, could they have prevented Akira from being involved? I feel like there must have been a way to like say no to that man and let him down gently, but well, they no longer have to worry about that because Akira will no longer be able to insert himself into anything unless he comes back from the dead and says, "I'm being involved." Sir, you're dead.
Zombie Zombie Akira would be kind of great, though.
I don't. I don't think we need.
Is that too
I
soon?
don't think the
Too
world
soon
needs
for
that.
Zombie Akira?
I don't think the world needs. I don't think the world needs or
But it
deserves that.
needed Daima? Like, what the hell are your priorities, my guy?
I don't think Diamond was all that bad. I'm just glad that Super Saiyan 4, after all these years, finally got put back in the anime because, like, while GT is not my favorite thing in the world, I appreciate GT.
Why?
Why what?
Why do you appreciate GT?
I think it was
Do you
doing.
just love? I think
I think it was
what
just
I'm
a
getting
fresh.
for this
I
conversation
think
is
it
that
was
you
just a.
love pain.
No, I think it was trying. It was trying to do something. You know, and I appreciate that it was trying to do something. Like you know, it didn't.
Everything's trying to do something, Jeremy.
No, not everything. Some things just exist.
Everything.
Some things just exist.
Then they're trying to exist.
No, like I feel like there was something there within GT. It couldn't be fully accomplished. Unfortunately, I don't know what they were trying to do. I feel like there was something there. They were reaching for it. They were reaching, grasping for it, just trying to hold on to anything. And unfortunately, you know, they had some good moments. I like the baby arc. That was interesting using something from the past to the Saiyans. Granted, unfortunately, I don't think that was canon. Because I don't think the
The only
toughness
thing I liked
the
from
toughness of baby
Dragon
arc.
Ball GT was the dance attack.
What?
Remember those two guys? They were like they played the music and it forced everybody to dance to the music and they couldn't defend themselves and they were using up all their energy dancing.
Sounds familiar, but I was probably more interested in the Super Saiyan 4 thing, and also the baby arc with just the whole idea of a revenge campaign against Vegeta. Makes a lot of sense. I'm surprised they didn't do that in the original canon of Dragon Ball Z. Um,
I think one of the things I didn't like about GT, first of all, the action and the villains weren't as compelling for me. The baby arc concept was all right, but one thing that really didn't capture me too much about GT was like it's gonna sound stupid, but like the lack of like slice of life moments.
But those weren't really canon. Those are just like filler things that were thrown into original Z. I know you like
Mm,
that, but I'm just saying that none of those actually happened. Goku and
I
Vegeta
wanted
don't
like
have license.
I wanted a little character development though. I didn't want to just all be like, here's the next fight.
A character development that it wasn't gonna stick.
What are you talking about?
You said like those slices of life had character development, but none of those slices of life developments ever happened. Like I mean,
Well,
like
like I
the
like them in Dragon Ball. Like the Dragon Ball was all canon, I believe, right? There was no filler for Dragon Ball, the original series, or was there filler?
I don't think there was, unless there was. If there was, I couldn't tell.
Oh, well,
I don't think
I
there
liked
was.
I liked the character development moments in Dragon Ball, and then in Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I know that there might not have been character development moments per se, but like I liked the ones that showed up. Like I liked even stupid stuff like Bulma being trapped on Namek with nothing to do, and trying to make the best of it and stuff like that. I liked all that stuff. Like I think
Well, I guess
just
those
nonstop
moments, I
fight
mean,
scenes is not my thing.
I mean, those moments. I mean, I guess I take that back. I guess there were probably were some small character development. I was just thinking, kind of, you say you like the filler. I thought, yeah, that's what you're referring to in terms of like,
I do kind of like filler, but I like filler for that reason. I think that like character development was kind of um, not represented as well in Z as it was in Dragon Ball. Even though I like the fight scenes of Dragon Ball a lot more and the villains and stuff a lot more in Dragon Ball Z, like I missed that there was character development. You know,
but
so I don't know.
no, I understand what you mean by character development. Yeah, I like character development too, but at the same time, like a lot of those moments in Z that I guess that you like a lot just didn't happen. Like, they weren't ever referenced. Even if there was character development for the characters in there, like they kind of reverted right back to who they were beforehand. I mean, even like I would honestly, this is my thing. I would appreciate those moments more if they showed back up at some other point in the show when things mattered. Like um like the whole Goku and Vegeta, I mean Goku and Piccolo trying to get a driver's license arc. Like as far as I know, that never freaking happened because Vegeta keeps on complaining to Goku about having a license, and I think there is a point that he does drive a car, but I don't think he has a license. I think for that reason,
He drives a
I think he drives an
he
actual
drives
vehicle.
a tractor in Super.
I don't think you need a license for that. That would say him operating machinery of any kind doesn't make any sense. I'm not
He
gonna
didn't do a very good job at it.
not gonna argue against that he did that, but I know
I
he.
think you know how they have a sensu bean. I think Goku needed one for ADHD.
Think he had ADHD.
Are you freaking yeah? You think Goku was like able to focus on anything
I believe so. Yeah,
other than literally fighting? Like,
that's how most Saiyans are, though.
well, maybe it's chronic.
I mean, I think Vegeta might be the only one that might be the one. Like, you can make an argument that maybe there is ADHD. But
Gohan doesn't have ADHD.
Gohan isn't a normal Saiyan, and he's also part human.
So we know like what, five Saiyans then? Like Broly didn't have ADHD.
No. He might be the one that had ADHD.
Why?
Really? Yelling Kakarot over and over again. Are you kidding me? Unless you talk about the
At
new
least he's
Broly.
focused.
All he did, and this is when he was a kid and a baby, was cry, which is what babies do.
Uh-huh.
And I also want to point out too that Broly was
I
crying
said he
too.
didn't I said he didn't have ADHD. I didn't say anything about autism, dude.
Oh, what the hell? Can you say that? Wait. No, I don't think you can. I mean, I think we can say it, but at the same time, I don't feel like we should say that. What the hell? I was not expecting that line from you. Are you kidding me? I was talking about I was talking about ADHD. Now I talking about autism. What the hell?
Yeah, I went there, by the way.
Oh Lord. Okay, I think we're gonna have to move back to the anime.
Which
My,
anime?
My Hero Academia. Gotta go back to that.
Oh, that one. What do
That
you mean back? We haven't been there all night.
shut up. You're the one who drove us off with Kino's journey.
I did,
Same with Hold
and
the
then I talked
Bus.
about us to Dragon Ball, and we've been like on for an hour, and we haven't talked about what
Okay,
the podcast is about once.
on to My Hero Academia. Episode 2. Title of the anime episode is Toshinori Yagi. Wait, I think it's.
You realize we're just now getting past the intro of the episode, right?
I mean, we've been live for an hour, and I think 40 some of those minutes were just music, so I'm like, whatever.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
get through this really quickly, don't worry. Um, this episode was actually really good. I enjoyed. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. When the episode started up, I honestly thought Toshin, All Might was gonna die because like the very beginning of the episode was literally him looking back at
Mhm.
all the things that he done, and I was like, this is a death flag.
He could still die, but I don't think he's gonna die.
I don't think he's gonna die now because, like, I mean,
I think
honestly, like he literally was supposed to die at the end of the episode, and Bakugo showed up. Yeah, we're just gonna talk about everything in this episode. I don't think I'm not gonna care about order.
it's going to be such a failure of Bakugo now if he dies and is unable to save All Might, and it's just I don't think that's too heavy a failure for the part of the series where the heroes start winning.
No, I think he's gonna win. No reason. I think he's just gonna win. I mean, he freaking.
I'm talking from a writer standpoint. Now it would be bad writing to kill All Might. Before it would have been like there would have been something poetic to it and like sad but like understandable. Now it would just be terrible writing to kill All Might.
I mean, he still could die, just not from All for One. I mean, All Might doesn't no longer has his use of his legs. Though I will say, I don't think he will die, mainly just because like there wasn't that much damage done to him that would seem to be life threatening. The only real reason he would have died was getting straight on hit by All for One's fist um from earlier, like, but he survived that barely. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna die. Early in the episode, I honestly thought he was gonna die because I felt like it was a death flag. Honestly, with that scene that we see with All Might walking down the path, that wasn't a death flag. That was. I honestly didn't completely understand at first the point of the cards being flying around and then going to Deku and Bakugo's hands. But after Bakugo woke up and then we had that entire scene, I'm guessing from other people's points of view saying that those cards I think were just like All Might's will or All Might passing on to the next generation. Like, like the fight to the continue to fight. Because like I
Mhm.
mean it was All Might's card that popped up in Bakugo and Deku's hands when they were little kids running around. Which I thought was kind of
And then
cool.
for some reason Bakugo brought it to that fight because he's got like the bloodied version
Yeah,
of it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie that I don't know where the freaking card came from because it just popped up in his hand at the end of the episode.
Hmm.
I understand he wanted All Might to sign it, but like right now, it's not the best time to get the
Like
autograph
right
either.
now, oh my, will you sign it? He's been around All Might for like 60 years at this point.
It's like gonna be a really bad time to get an autograph. but,
Yeah.
but that'd be awesome. It'd be the one dorky moment that Bakugo has because he doesn't have any or many. But yeah, like Bakugo shows up. I just want to talk about that right now because I mean it's such a small moment because the episode kind of ends with it. But like I mean it's not a small moment; it's a really big moment because like it's finally the tides might change. Um, but
I mean,
like
they literally say that in the preview for the next episode that the tide is going to change.
there you have it. but but basically Bakugo shows up at the end of the episode and he's still got the power up that he had before he got punched through his stomach, well his heart or whatever got hit there. Um, I will say I like the fact that I guess rewinding a little bit before he gets up. I do like how like All for One kind of like hits the bird cage or whatever they call the death coffin, or whatever they called it, the coffin. After
Hmm.
like what's his name, gentleman manages like to let go after like twice has disappeared and the weight shifts, and they can like float in their own volition. All for One just like blast it. And at first I thought All for One was just being petty. Apparently he was off. He was trying to hit somebody on the freaking on the coffin. That was kind of funny.
He says they moved it, but I don't understand. I didn't see anybody move anything or even attempt to move anything.
Like
They said they moved it and like they dodged it or some his attack or something like that, but
Jino
I
probably
didn't
did
get any
something.
sense that anything.
Jino probably like when he let go and it finally shifted. I'm guessing it was like that the exact moment. I don't know. Like I mean, hey, yeah. I mean, it was weird that he definitely did say he missed because normally he doesn't. But maybe it was just like one of those. It moved slightly and it threw off his aim because that typically happens in fantasy or anything really. Like it moved slightly, so it threw off his aim, which is a real
Okay.
thing. But
It looked like it did plenty though.
I mean, it's a real thing. I mean, yeah, he put a hole in it and damaged like whatever was going on inside the hovering of that machine. I want
It's
to
like sort of
say,
a casual Kamehameha wave.
I want to say,
It was basically a Kamehameha. Like that was one of his quirks now is Kamehameha. Like we've never seen him use it before.
he's
And
used impure.
apparently he gave all of his quirks to
He,
what's his name?
he gave copies of his quirks to Shigaraki. He still got his
Yeah.
original, but but no, he's used impure beam before. He's used impure beam a couple times actually.
Okay.
Because I think that was impure beam he used. That's what I'm assuming it was.
Yeah, we would think so.
But I thought it was like funny that he's like he thought then he blasted it and it first put Geno back on the guard again because Geno has to keep that place floating.
Hmm.
I thought it was kind of cool that Geno was like about to go help, because All Might was in a dire strait. Let's just be honest. Like after Stain got man, that was like I wouldn't say a horrific death, but boy oh boy, just being turned into a pile of blood was interesting. I didn't realize he had taken his quirk at the same time, and so like he all for one uses blood curdle on All Might.
Hmm.
But like after that, after he blows a hole into the coffin, like a little bit later, there's an explosion that happens on top of the the platform from very far away, catches all for one's attention. I literally sit there and say, "Was that Bakugo?" And I was like, for a minute, like, was that Bakugo? Because I was like, who else could that have been? And I was like, oh, maybe it's somebody else. I don't know. Like, I don't know who else could have like made that large light pop up there. But yeah, it was Bakugo because he just got up and he looked like he was like, how long have I been asleep? like looks right
Uh-huh.
at Deku. Apparently, at least I think he's looking at Deku. Deku's looking back at him because Deku can't save his hero. I gotta say like the whole Shigaraki taunting Deku, um, like you better go save your hero, your mentor. Is like it was a very interesting interesting thing for Shigaraki to do, but I guess at the same time if it fills his his the idea of wanting to torture Deku before he kills him. Because like as soon as he said that, he's like, I'm gonna go and kill everybody else that's been hurting me all this time. I'm like, good gracious. I guess I also forgot that he's no longer like bound. His quirks are no longer bound, so he can use all the quirks he wants.
Hmm.
Like I find it interesting that that Deku has managed to keep Shigaraki at a stalemate with like all with the Black Whip. He's managed to keep Shigaraki right there where he wants him. I'm half surprised that Shigaraki hasn't tried to do anything sneaky to try to get away.
Such as.
I don't know. He could have done anything. I mean, he's got copies of All for One's quirks, doesn't he? Like like in that guy that stares at you. I mean, the guy who's copying quirks. I don't think he's copying all Izawa's quirk anymore.
Yeah.
Like not too much happened in this episode, but quite a few things happened in this episode. Like I think that was like the bigger. Like, All Might nearly bit it, and all for One wanted to do was like I'm surprised like he decided to when All for One decided to say he was gonna go to Shigaraki after Shigaraki pretty much I guess that was actually interesting. Like when Shigaraki prevented him from warping him to All for One, and then All for One was like, oh his consciousness must have ate mine. I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like when Shigaraki's will like overcame All for One's will. Well, I wonder what All For One's trying to do because I thought like for the most part he was just waiting for him to take control over Shigaraki's body. Seems like he had a plan or something like that, didn't it? All For One trying to get Shigaraki.
Um, all for one Shigaraki. What? His plan? What are you talking
Like,
about?
what was All For One's plan trying to get Shigaraki? Because like, he ran
Oh,
right
the
towards
suicide
Shigaraki.
attack, wasn't it? Oh, all for one wants to get to Shigaraki for to take over his body, like he's been planning all along.
But I thought he was already in the process of that with the whole him planting his subconscious into Shigaraki's body to
He
begin
did,
with.
but Shigaraki expelled it. He found that out when he tried to portal him over to him. And remember he resisted it, and then the guy said, "Oh, I see. Like I expected that you'd already kicked out my consciousness."
I, no, okay, I know what you're talking about. But I thought he said he was shocked that he did that. Oh, huh.
He said, "I expected it all along." Whether he actually did or not is up to you. But like he claims, you know what I mean, for the audience, I guess, because who else is he talking to? That he thought that might happen all along.
Well, I mean, Shigaraki's fighting him this much. Like, what makes him think he can take over his consciousness again? I feel like if you're this guy and then Shigaraki, you're a little pupil that you thought you had control over, which you didn't. Um,
I think it might have been like he might have been sort of proud of him, even though it foiled his plans. Like he might have been sort of proud of Shigaraki for doing that, for being like that much of a badass.
I find it interesting that you can actually fight warp like that. That seems both weird and disgusting because he swallowed it.
Well, he have warp too? Like
But Shigaraki,
Shigaraki has all of his abilities, right? So he might have warp too. He might have like been able to counter it because he also has it. I don't know.
I don't know because when All For One said that he countered it with his warp,
Um,
that's not what he did. He just swallowed it.
I don't know. It's my best guess is that maybe like there was like some sort of factor there. You know what I mean? That he that somehow he like had knowledge of how to use the quirk, and that gave him the ability to resist it. I mean, what else makes sense?
Probably the only thing that does make sense.
Yeah.
Basically, I was just trying to get because like, I understand that Shigaraki resisted the teleportation, but to me, it's like
Yeah.
okay, he did that. All for One was still trying to get towards him. And he just said, I'm just gonna go to him instead." Like even with the whole idea, it's like okay, Shigaraki already resisted you twice now. To me,
Uh
it's like
huh.
okay, what hope of whatever plan that you're trying to do that like lets you take over his body? Like that's not gonna happen. Like I'm confident in saying I had no proof of this or any information saying that I'm confident in saying that I don't think Shigaraki's gonna let you take over his body, and I honestly thought this was gonna be a thing from the start. Like Shigaraki from the start of the series was shown to be a little kid at first in his mental capacity. He viewed everything like a video game, and it was only through and we saw this throughout the show that he was also changing, like Deku and everybody else was, and he was changing in what he wanted and like what his beliefs were, his values, stuff like that. So to me, it's
Uh
like
huh.
okay, Shigaraki's gotten to this point where he can, like you said, like a badass, resist All For One. He can resist the big bad. Like to me, it's like okay, All For One must see this. What's his ultimate plan? He would need, at least in my brain, if I was All For One, if I was still trying to take over his body, I would need to completely subdue his consciousness. But I've
Hmm.
seen that his consciousness is strong. How do you like what would be my plan at that point? Like I don't know like what he can even do at this point. Because Shigaraki seems clearly been he wants to fight Deku and he doesn't want All For One's help. Even though I will say the caveat that when All For One showed up there with All Might in his hands, Shigaraki was taunting Deku, kind of like how All For One would, like there goes your mentor, you should go save him. Like why you go save him? I'll go and kill everybody else.
Understand? Honestly, I didn't understand why Shigaraki was tormenting Deku. Like It sounded like he wanted to have this fight to himself, and like he said, don't interfere. And then he turns around and immediately makes him into a factor in the fight. And I'm like, do you want a fair straight one-on-one with him, or do you want to play dirty? Because like,
I think he wants
if
both.
you're gonna like, if you're gonna let him be distracted by like what's going on in the background, why not just let the other guy interfere directly? It didn't make sense to me. I'm like, I don't know. It seemed inconsistent.
I mean, Shigaraki himself kind of been that way, hasn't he? It's like he both sides of the both sides of the I'm not gonna say coin because that's not what it is. Both sides of the personality that are inside deck besides Shigaraki right now are fighting for control, and that's kind of what's been going on the entire time since then. But it seems like Shigaraki's winning. We've seen both times now. He's been able to resist All For One's influence. But like you said before, like Shigaraki, I said this before, like Shigaraki taunting Deku, like other than Shigaraki wanting to make Deku feel pain and for him to feel loss, it was the only reason I could think that he would be taunting All Might because he realizes how much All Might means to him. But also Shigaraki did say that he will go and after you go and save him, I'm gonna go and kill everybody else. Almost like an ultimatum or whatever like that. Like you go save him, but I'm gonna go kill everybody else to cause me pain. Like Shigaraki still had on his mind to kill everybody else.
Yeah.
And right now it seems like Deku's the only thing keeping him from doing that. I guess. But again, you said like I said before, he does seem like he wanted Deku all to himself, but maybe there's like there's just like this there's a complicated mess of a plan in his brain. And he's just doing as much as he can to keep himself sane. That's what I was
Yeah.
saying. Like I don't know what All For One gains from going to Shigaraki. Now before with the whole him taking over his brain or whatever his personality, him warping Shigaraki would have made that make sense. But because Shigaraki, managed to subdue it, tells me it's like okay, Shigaraki's brain or his personality, I should say, is way too strong for All For One to take over. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it isn't that strong, and maybe Shigaraki just got lucky with the ability to subdue warp from happening.
Hmm.
Possible that maybe that's what happened is that he just got real lucky. Um, All For One didn't want to attempt to try it again because he wasted too much time. But again, I don't know. Even with
No,
All For
it seemed not particularly hard for him to counter the ability. In my opinion, it seemed like it was Shigaraki did not have very much trouble there.
and I'm fine with going with that idea. I'm just trying to figure out like to me it's like okay, I know All For One has a plan. He is becoming younger by the minute, by the millisecond. Uh,
Yeah.
what would be the purpose behind him rushing towards Shigaraki? Because even if they are within the same like range, so they can communicate with.
He wants to take Shigaraki's body over.
I
He's
don't,
going to possess Shigaraki's body.
but I don't know how
That's
that's gonna
exactly
work.
what's going to happen. They've straight up told you. We're going to find out. But that's what he wants to do.
I understand the plan for that, but I just like to me it's like okay, Shigaraki, because I feel like for all to do that, at least from what I'm taking from all the information that I've seen about this show, he was
Hmm.
slowly taking over Shigaraki's brain like last season, but Shigaraki somehow was able to start fighting it back. And to me, it's like okay, him fighting the warp was the ultimate conclusion towards that. Like he's got complete control over his body and his brain now, or whatever
Yeah, but
have you.
he has a backup plan of some sort. That's what's going on. He's going to implement some sort of backup plan. He thought this might happen, and he has a contingency plan to take care of it.
Well, all I gotta say is I sure hope the contingency plan works because I don't think Shigaraki's gonna go down without a fight.
Of course, he's not.
Like I will say, of all the things of this show, I will give credit to Shigaraki. Like I've hated him throughout the entire show. That has remained consistent. But I've loved to hate him is what I think I appreciate about Shigaraki.
Uh huh.
He's like it's one of those characters like this. Like I love to hate, and that's a good thing for a villain. It's like okay,
That's a good thing.
yeah, did he snuck his way in here? It'd be funny if he just said hi, hello, and all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell?
Hi.
But uh,
Hi, guys. No.
uh but like I just like for me, it's like to me, like him rushing to Shiraki's aid right there, right? Or even like you said before, he's just gonna there to steal over his body. I'm just like, I don't know. But then again, right now it's like Bakugo seems to be the one thing standing between All For One and Shigaraki, so All For One may not make it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you know, at the end of the day, like right now, it seems like there's gonna be this fight with Bakugo and
I
All
think
for
it's
One.
isn't it likely that All for One doesn't make it even?
I mean, he's been slowly dying. Let's be real. I mean, he injected himself with Ares quirk, and he's been slowly rewinding. And like, apparently, I guess he doesn't know that damage makes him younger. I can only assume that because so far he has not made any comment about it, like about him like him getting younger much faster than I guess it was. Because like I mean, every time All Might damaged him, it shocked All Might how much younger he got. So like
Yeah.
it's been really clear that okay, the all one shouldn't have been aging this rapidly this fast backwards. But due to the fact that he is getting hurt and he needs to heal, that's what's causing it. But yeah, I don't know if all for one realizes how young he is right now, or if he even cares currently because of where he is mentally. I will
Well,
say,
he's got the mind of a child.
yeah, but then he got snapped. He snapped back out of it. He said, "Thank you for bringing me back to my senses." I was like, "Oh dear
Yeah.
God, no!" And that's when he flew off to Shigaraki. That was like long after All Might couldn't stand on his own two legs. I'm telling you right now, if All Might survives this, and he's in the beginning a wheelchair and he's bald, I'm gonna be like, "Are you serious?" He's Professor Xavier.
I think what's going to happen next is he's going to get there, and there's going to be a sort of three-way battle. What do you think?
All for one's already there right now. Bakugo's the one that woke up and is on the thing looking back at the battlefield. He's already
Right, but
there.
I think he's going to make his way past Bakugo, and Bakugo's going to save All Might, but he's going to not be able to stop him, and then he's going to get through and be at the fight scene. I think there's no way he doesn't make it to Shigaraki to close that story loop. And then when he gets there, he's going to excuse me. When he gets there, it's going to be Deku wants both of them gone, and Shigaraki wants both of them gone, and One for All for One wants both of them gone, basically, and because he wants to take over one of them. And it's going to be a three-way where they all want each other gone.
You don't think he's gonna pay? All for one's gonna pay any attention to Bakugo?
I think Bakugo is going to weaken him further because right now, All for One is One for All is still, I think, too strong. He's too smart and too experienced to also be that strong. Like he's going to need to be at a disadvantage to fight the kids, even as strong and powerful and like legendary as they are at this point. So he's going to need a disadvantage, and Bakugo is going to buy that disadvantage by weakening him. And he's going to save All Might. And then Bakugo is going to lose, but he's going to not die, and he's going to save All Might. And then All for One is going to maybe realize that he's running out of time and have to ditch Bakugo because he's going to realize that like he got too weakened by his fight with Bakugo. And then he's going to come in after Deku and Shigaraki. Shigaraki is not going to want him to take over his body, so he's going to fight All for One. And Deku is going to fight All for One because it's All for One. And All for One is going to mostly be focused on Shigaraki, but he's also going to need to fight Deku too because he's going to have to fight him. He's going to have to keep him off him. So it's going to be a three-way battle at that point. If I was to take my predictions one step farther, I would say that Shigaraki and Deku beat All for One. And then Deku's next mission is to try to redeem Shigaraki. And I think he's going to do it. I don't think it makes sense that he's going to do it. But from what I know about writing, you know what I mean? What I know about plot and writing, the fact that has talked about how he wants to save Shigaraki, and that's part of being a hero through the entire thing, and that's been the whole essence of his character through the whole thing. I think that they're going to have to address that as a plot point sometime, and they're not going to be able to address it with All for One standing there trying to take over. So Deku is going to have a chance to redeem him after they defeat All for One.
I don't think they're gonna redeem him. And this isn't
I
me
don't
knowing
like it. I
anything.
think
I
I'm going to
just
be disappointed when they do it, and it's not going to come out and be very well written. But I think that would be the next step. Is that like Deku then attempts to redeem Shigaraki, and because it's Deku's story, this whole thing is Deku's story. He's going to succeed.
but no, but then, this is because of like story already. I just Shigaraki is way too long gone. And on top of that, I also want to bring up something that happened earlier in the fight before Deku even got there.
Uh-huh.
No, actually, no, it was right when he got there when Deku reached out to a little kid inside Shigaraki. The little
Mhm.
kid responded saying that he also wants the world to burn. There is no good in Shigaraki. There never was.
That's
He,
why I said I think the ending is. I think the ending of the show is going to be stupid, but I think that that is what the storyline has been building to. Is that Deku said, "I'm going to be the greatest hero of all time." I don't think in the beginning of the series, like episode one, and I don't think Deku could define himself as the greatest hero of all time if he fails Shigaraki. So I think the fact that it was Deku saying that he's going to be the greatest hero of all time and he's happy about it means that he didn't have mixed feelings about the end, which means his victory was complete, which means he has to save Shigaraki because that's one thing he set out to do.
well,
I
but
think it's
keeping him
going to be
alive.
stupid. I think I'm not going to like it, but I think that's what the story trajectory is.
Does really keeping Shigaraki alive saving him though? Couldn't he
Yeah,
just straight up kill him and still somehow save him? Like, wouldn't that like
Shigaraki
be
could
safe
die in
death?
some noble last effort way. Um, maybe Shigaraki dies saving Deku from All Might. I'm all for one or something like that. But one way or the other, I think Shigaraki is going to die in a way that Deku is satisfied with, and that because he saved him, he's going to feel that he saved him in some way at the end.
Oh, that's ending you're not gonna like.
I I don't know how they would pull. I can't think of a way that they would pull that off that I would find acceptable.
Can you expound? Like, why wouldn't that be accepted to you? Like, what about? I guess like what I'm asking is like, what about Shigaraki dying and being redeemed and that all washing everything away? Well, I understand that's not satisfying. Like that's not satisfying in any real way. I'm speaking from like knowledge that I have of writing stuff, fanfic, wherever
Uh,
have you. I'm using my own knowledge, but it's like well, I understand. Yeah, that may not be satisfying reader. Sometimes maybe the ending may not be all about satisfying the reader. And while that does suck, I'm not gonna sit there and say that it doesn't. Um, sometimes the writer needs to be satisfied. Sometimes endings never satisfy the writer a lot of the time.
yeah.
But what about? I guess like you're saying you wouldn't be because you don't think they can pull it off. What about that? Do you think it's going to be pulled off in a satisfying way? If I can ask.
What other ending is going to be? I don't know what ending is going to be
No,
pulled
I
off
don't
in
mean
a
like what
satisfying way,
about
but
this ending? Would you not think they would be able to pull off with the whole Shigaraki dying? Like, is there something that you would need to happen for you to be satisfied with it? With Shigaraki to being the one dying and dying in that
I don't
fashion?
know. I don't have in my mind. I can't think of a way that this is going to end that I'm satisfied with. But I think that that is the unsatisfying ending that I can think of that is most likely. It's like it's going to be hard for me to be satisfied with it because like what's a victory even look like right now? They've lost so much. It's just like I don't know. I guess
I
like
see
the
victories
most
where you see loss.
satisfying thing is that like they've sort of like converted the neutral characters. Like the neutral characters are now kind of good characters, and that is sort of a heroic redemption, I guess. That's probably the most satisfying thing that I've seen so far is that like Stain and Gentleman, you know what I mean? Some of these characters like have been seen the light and have been brought over to the good guy's side. I think that's kind of cool.
I mean, yeah, I mean, where you see a lot of dark, I see like a lot of light. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of like fighting and blood, but like I think a lot of those, like none of them died as far as I can tell. Probably the one closest to death is Uraraka because she got stabbed in her gut, but I think no Toga gave her a lot of blood. I guess we'll see whatever damage that was done to her, but I mean, I don't think like a lot of this loss was a bad thing. I mean, like I feel this war, while it was everywhere and nowhere at once, I feel like the war was. I feel like how the war ended. Well, I shouldn't say war. The whole conflict ended before Shigaraki and Deku kind of are going to get their showcase fight. Um, yeah, well, it's dark. I still feel like there's like a lot of light that can be expounded from all this because like up to a point, like it was always kind of curious how the villains were going to do what they're going to do. I mean, it was being built up that they're going to have a plan, and their plan was going to nearly succeed near the end of it all.
Hmm.
It's clear that it was clear that the heroes were going to find a way to win. That's a part of like why I kind of like some of this stuff where it seems impossible, but then somewhere along the line they do something that I don't think about. Um, Now unfortunately for this particular show, superheroes are kind of easy to kind of predict what's going to happen because for the most part, superheroes go against a wall and then all of a sudden either they push through with their will or they unlock another aspect about their ability. And pretty much my hero utilized both. In some cases, characters got the latter half as well, where they unlocked a new aspect about their power that they didn't know they had via like upgrading their ability or waking it up to be a lot more powerful. Some of the characters that had that happen to them, like I think about Uraraka specifically, kind of encapsulated what she wants to be as a hero, which I thought was kind of cool. And also something I didn't even think too much about with Uraraka. Um, I've been surprised with Uraraka this entire show, actually, if I'm being real about it, because like I was worried for her significantly back when it was revealed that she had a crush on Deku. But like what they done with her specifically with her power waking up and her power kind of being what she wants to be as a hero, which is like always holding people up and never letting them down. Like even while she was dying slowly, she was still like making sure people were getting down safely, which was actually incredible. The amount of strength and the amount of willpower she would have to exert to do that was impressive amongst among that, and also her wants for her power to not be anything that harms people, but only helps and serves people. Even though she went out of her way to learn gunhead martial arts just to be able to be useful in a physical altercation. Like I was only thinking about the ways that she could hurt people with her ability. She was thinking about ways to save people with her ability.
Yeah.
But yeah, I look at moments like that throughout this entire conflict as like those are wins. Yeah, a lot of people were lost and a lot of people got hurt. I understand that's the sad. I feel like there's a lot more good that happened in this situation. And unfortunately there's gonna be, you know, um there's gonna be there's gonna be effects from this later on down, but I don't think that was ever a I don't think there was ever uh um a the word I'm looking for that was ever like up for debate that there wasn't gonna be any, after shocks of what happened here. While it was dark, I guess ultimately what I want to say is like while it was kind of like while it was dark, I think there was enough light that at least I was satisfied with everything that happened. Do I wish some of the things that happened didn't happen? Yeah,
You're satisfied with everything that happened so far?
yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, like I like while I will say like, well, do I wish some of the stuff that actually happened that didn't happen? Yeah, but some of the stuff like I feel like where we were and where these characters were in the development, I feel like it makes sense. I mean, every character so far, in my opinion, had to me a significant amount of involvement in the.
Not Froppy.
I mean,
Froppy needs more.
I mean,
Froppy needs more.
Robbie helped out. She did a lot of heavy lifting to get Toga to listen.
She should have been in the thing in the sky, the cemetery and the coffin in the sky. She should have been the main fighter. Deku should have been the supporting character, and she should have been the main character.
All joking aside, I think Robbie was perfect where she was, being the middle ground, like how they always kind of like said that she was. I think I'm surprised
Yeah,
they managed to keep that going with her. It was kind of shocking, even when she had that moment where she was crying and feeling bad about like Bakugo being kidnapped, and then took that with her the rest of the way through the show and still kept her being the middle ground, like being the center basically of everything.
I think they could have like pushed her character a little bit more, like given her a more stressful situation to deal with it, like a more crisis kind of scenario. But I think it was okay. I think that they decided that the fans weren't as into Froppy as they thought they were going to be, and they just kind of retired her. To be honest with you, they're like, we can't completely give up on her because we've established her, but we're going to just kind of like move her to the back with the background characters.
I mean, I don't like Robbie. I don't know if there was anything that she could have. Because honestly, like it would have been cool for her power to awaken, but at the same time, I can't even imagine what that would even be. Like raining frogs or something like that. I can't imagine. 'Cause, like I think
What, her newest power?
what even a new power for her coming up would even be for it to make any sense towards her abilities. Because it's not like her power was specifically something that affects the world around her. Her power affects her physically. Like other than her turning into a full frog, I don't think I would have liked that. But other than her turning into a full frog, I don't know what awakening for her would even be. Being realistic, you know. But I think what the aspect of that would honestly what would really have to happen. It'd be the weirdest thing, but I mean, it would reach into a lot of fantasy for it to happen. Is like somehow her hopping got stronger. Like maybe her frog traits got enhanced somehow, and she was able to like
Mhm.
hop around superhumanly more than she already is. Which I mean, like, would that be bad? No, I mean, honestly, like, if that have happened to her, it'd be interesting to see what they could have done with it. But at the same time, I don't know, like, because Froppy herself wanted to be a what like Laura Rocket, she wanted to be a support hero anyway, and she was already really good at that. She kind of peaked really early on, showing that she was really good at it, and her ability really, her quirk really aligned with the ability to save people in the first place. She already learned everything her body could do, and even the stomach thing, which she was embarrassed about, which proved to be useful, kind of funnily enough.
Mhm.
Later on, you like discovered that, and even the camouflage, she discovered that she can actually do reconnaissance missions too, because she can make herself same color the background. Well,
She could have gotten seductive pheromones that she learned from that seductive pheromone person that frogs give off, and been like the most seductive character in like after the seductive character died.
not gonna knock anybody's kink. 16. 16. Only gonna say.
That reminds me of
Oh no, what?
when in Team Four Star when Krillin's talking to Gohan, I mean, and he makes some dirty joke, and Gohan patiently says to him at the end of his dirty joke, "Still 12, or still 8."
Oh,
Krillin's like, "Oh, okay, sorry." It was one of my favorite Team Four Star moments.
Krillin makes all kinds of dirty jokes. One that I'm thinking about right now is like it's after Goku supposedly kills Frieza. Well, supposedly defeats Frieza on the planet, and the planet blows up, and then Frieza's still alive, and he's coming towards the planet Earth. And everybody can feel him, and then Gohan's like, "Are you sure that's him? Like Gohan, you had a man inside you. You know he's coming."
Oh wow.
And I'm like,
I need an adult.
actually, is that somebody says that actually?
I like when it goes full circle. I forget exactly how the joke sets up, but there's a scene later where Gohan is fighting somebody, and they say, "I need an adult," and Gohan says, "I am an adult," and I thought that was fantastic.
Gohan,
Yeah, somebody says, "I need an adult" to Gohan, and Gohan goes, "I am an adult," and like kills him. One of the best Team Four Star moments.
Gohan actually says that. I don't. I've seen that show multiple. I don't remember if that actually happened. That's not that funny. I'm just saying that is happening.
It was pretty good.
Huh.
I am an adult. Or when they're arguing with Cell at one point, and Cell makes a joke that's really sexually inappropriate, and Gohan reminds Cell, he's like, I'm 9 or something like that, and Cell goes, and I'm 4. you know.
Oh yeah,
Do you remember that?
I think I do remember that, but I guess it also makes you forget that I forget that Cell was like one recently.
Yeah, he's not that old. I feel like it shouldn't count for Cell, but that's just me talking. I don't. I don't think Cell gets to be a minor.
I hate the implication of that statement. Get to be a minor, as in like it sounds
I
like Gohan gets to be a minor. Like why does Gohan?
A synthetically created thing that comes out with a full set of knowledge and like a mature mind and is deeply evil by design, you know what I mean? And has been genetically engineered from the knowledge and pieces of someone that is already an adult. I feel like it's a stretch to think that they should be treated as a child. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I don't think they were treating him as a child. It's really all Cell was saying in that moment is that he's only been alive and mobile and thinking for about 4 years. So like, that's not saying he's a minor. That's just saying that's how long he's been alive.
I know. I was just building on what I said a second ago that like he doesn't get to be a minor.
I get that, but I don't think I've ever thought of him as a minor, even though he's probably been alive. It's just one of those things where it's like, I think all they really, Team Five Star was just searching for a dirty joke, and I think they just realized they could sell for it. Even though they used Cell as a dirty joke simulation machine the entire time they were doing Cell Saga. Everyone they could use Cell for a dirty joke. But with that, we already talked about the ending, which is like Bakugo wakes up and fire explodes. I still find it kind of cool that both Deku and Bakugo's eyes were emulating like I guess their signature color. Deku's was green, while Bakugo's was like, I think orange. Orange is yellow. I guess
Uh-huh.
speaking of eyes, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but there was various moments during All Might's fight during this episode where his scalia, the whites around his eyes were actually white. Like I don't know if that was just a actual like artistic decision that they were making, but it was just one of the weirdest things. Like that was as I was watching it, I think I kept thinking back to your whole, every time All Might's eyes glowed and like that, but I was like he always had eyes. He just this is the time we could see him. I was thinking like, is something happening to All Might during he get his power back? Like I don't know how that would make sense. No, I guess it's just an artistic. I just thought it was kind of cool that every time there was a moment, every time like All Might's will was kind of just really strong. You can see the whites in his eyes. Also, I like how it's sort of like as All from One was killing her, was saying that All Might's gonna be the one to kill you for sure. And he's like, "What? He's crazier than you are." And I was like, "That's kind of
It's
funny.
true.
That's kind
It's
of
fair.
funny." But then as soon as that happens, it's like All Might grabs him with a detonating arm. I'm like, "Oh dear, he is crazier than you."
Hmm.
It's sad because like all for one does is stabs his arm. I'm surprised that bomb took so long to go off. Just try to detonate that thing immediately.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad now. Like, even now, All Might's arm is a mess and the bomb no longer exists. But yeah, I think with that, like the next episode's gonna be interesting. Can't wait to see the budget they're gonna use for this episode. I can't wait to see it looks animated. It's been a while since we've seen Bakugo do anything, and it'd be awesome to Bakugo to. I thought about this earlier, even before you had mentioned it. But it's like it's cool that Bakugo gets to like save his hero. Basically, he gets to do the thing that every little kid.
Are we going to not talk about the fact that it makes no sense that Bakugo gets to do this, though?
Why
Why does it make sense that, like, isn't he, like, mostly dead?
Bakugo?
Bakugo, like, wasn't it, like, just a complete miracle that he was even alive at all? Like, why is he able to stand up? Even from, like, this universe's, like, breaking your limits pretense.
Bakugo's insane. I mean, he's got a hero, a full grown man in his chest right now. As weird as that sounds, like pumping his body. I feel like he may not be at top peak condition, but you usually see in anything fantasy, like usually heroes do their people do their best when they're nearly dead or nearly finished. You somehow get like a one last like one last will to go. So like I suspect this Bakugo's last, like one last like I gotta do this type of thing. I feel like
Mhm.
he earned it. I feel like it has to be him because
Okay, but like, not only is he like good enough, like strong enough to stand and strong enough to fight, but he's going to be strong enough to fight the most dangerous villain of them all, who has been reverted to nearly his prime.
I think All for One might be weakened because it's not like all might did nothing to him.
I know. I said nearly his prime. Like he's going to be about at least a peer age to Bakugo. He's going to be about Bakugo's age, except he's got all the experience of a fully developed hero, and he's got a million powers to Bakugo's one power. And Bakugo is deeply wounded, and the other guy is not deeply wounded. He's losing time, but while he's up, he's probably hit a point now where he's slowly weakening, as opposed to slowly getting stronger progressively as he hits his prime, because he's before his prime now. But he's still pretty freaking tough, and it's not as the same thing as being so injured that you shouldn't be able to move. So I very annoyed if Bakugo wins. I'm confident that Bakugo is not going to win, but um, I don't know. I don't know if with how much they injured him, he should get a chance to fight in any significant way right now.
I honestly wouldn't mind.
I think it was more like a miracle that he lived in the first place. And I was like, okay, I was like, all right, well, this is like a cartoon. Like, I'll accept that somehow he lived in the first place, even though he seemed basically disemboweled. But it's another thing entirely to be like, well, I'm cool with him being like
Well, Bakugo still got.
completely. Go ahead.
I mean, Bakugo's still supercharged. Saw that when he woke up, right? Like his quirk was still supercharged, even though it probably shouldn't have been if he was freaking passed out.
Okay, but like supercharge doesn't like change extreme injuries to your entire body.
He's probably gonna have repercussions from it. I really think that's really what all this really is. Like Bakugo's gonna push himself to a point where it's gonna probably have some serious repercussions.
Okay, he shouldn't be able to do this in the first place. Repercussions or no?
But the quirk power up, because like I can explain that. This isn't a spoiler.
No, I'm talking about his body, his bones, his muscles, his organs, his body chemistry, like his blood, like all that stuff has been too damaged. He might have an output of like quirk that he could work with for some reason, but like his body should be too damaged to be able to effectively do anything except maybe like lay there and use his quirk from the position of my body is destroyed, but I still have a power.
Well, I know I know you probably are irritated by this, but I'm happy with it, and I'm only really happy with it on the
You're happy
basis.
with it because Bakugo is going to fight, and
But
you will like it when Bakugo fights because he's a fire hero, and you like
well, it's
fire
not
heroes.
that. I mean, like this isn't shallow. Basically, what it is like, well, if Bakugo ain't there, we're all screwed. Because like I can't see in any foreseeable situation Deku beating One for All in Shigaraki. There is no way in hell. And I refuse to believe that. I get that, but I get that this is Deku's story, but I refuse. It'd be a cold day in hell that he'd be able to beat both Shigaraki and One for All. One for All maybe, but Shigaraki after that fight, hell no. Shigaraki's like barely hurt. If anything,
Okay,
there's nobody
what about
else.
the heroes inside the floating coffin that are no longer fighting twice clones, like Creating and stuff like that?
Randy's freaking exhausted. Did you not see her?
Dude, she might be exhausted, but she's not injured like
Her
Bakugo.
power revolves around her lipids. She doesn't have any.
Bakugo
She's
shouldn't
out.
have the ability to stand in the first place. Creating like at least is standing up right now.
Couldn't do anything though. She would need the ability to create something to fight with.
It'd still be less bullshit than like Bakugo.
We still be in the same situation. I don't think Craddy can do a dang thing. No, no, nothing against Craddy. I like her. I love her as a character. She couldn't do a dang thing against Hulk for one. I don't think she. Like, the only thing she could have done that may have done anything with him would be a cannon, but I don't think she can make a cannon. And she had to hit him. Like, I mean, Hulk Funk ain't gonna stand there and let you hit him with a cannonball.
All right, well, so hear me out. He is All For One is a teenager right now, right? Like, roughly, would you say he's like 16-ish, give or take a year right now? Like his body?
Yeah.
Well, 16, 17, that's fine.
What do you mean?
Maybe 15 by the time he gets there. That being said, Cready is
Oh no.
freaking hot as hell, right? So what if Cready took advantage of his messed up hormones as a teenager and just started doing a real slow strip dance?
I hate it.
Except her body was creating extra clothes, so as she took them off, she was creating something slightly skimpier underneath, and then she'd take that off and maybe something slightly skimpier underneath that because she's creating it underneath the clothes. And she takes off an impossible amount of clothes every single time, taking off a little bit more. And him being a teenager in an anime is going to be forced to like slack jaw, like watch every second of it until it's over, except it never completely ends before he turns into a 2-year-old and puberty is no longer relevant.
Okay, first of all, funny premise, but okay, here's my real take on
It
this.
would work. In an anime, it would work.
Here's my take on that. You're gonna run into the fan problem that happened within Naruto and how that show dealt with their villain, and they did it in a kind of similar way, but not exactly. Um, Naruto, the main character, throughout the throughout the course of the run of the show, had a very famous jutsu called the sexy jutsu, which turned him into a female version of himself, like a really hot female version of himself. But what they did, and I can't believe this came back at the end in a fight of all things. But the main villain Kaguya, he basically, because he needed to shock her, he basically used the reverse sexy jutsu. It was him and Sasuke nude, and it caught her off guard, and
Uh
that's
huh.
kind of how they managed to do damage to her. Um, I don't think people like that very much. I I
Why?
I think that was a well, I don't know. I couldn't tell you exactly what people thought. I didn't think people liked it that much. I thought it was really weird, and I thought it had no place in the middle of a fight that was determining the greater will of the world.
Hmm.
But it made absolutely no sense. In this situation, I feel like that would really be degrading Creaty because she's already another thing
But
too.
at the same time, she never actually gets naked.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that though. Like people already had a problem with her outfit. Like this was all over the
Hmm.
news when they first revealed her outfit.
Uh-huh.
There are a lot of people, and I remember a lot of feminists coming out about this too, about like how they didn't like Brady's outfit showing as much skin as it showed. There were a lot of people who
Uh-huh.
had a problem with it. You are really risking like people being really upset if that actually happened in the anime or in the manga, or whatever. You're really
Hmm.
risking with a show that's already kind of abuses women already. And like, I feel like that'd be too far.
Aw, but it would work.
But you're assuming that All For One would be victim to his hormones.
It's the rules of anime. If there's a naked woman
There's an
and
old
a
man in that.
60,
There's an old man brain in that teenage body. I don't know how that.
even better, old men are even more perverted, and it would be like the double hitter. Like you'd have old man brain, which is like one of the most perverted things in animated history, especially in anime, and combined with 16-year-old hormones, he would basically be paralyzed. It'd be like he was fighting Stain all over again, except he wouldn't have a counter.
Even then, Deku still has to contend with Shigaraki, who is also not injured. Just want to point that out.
Who is not injured?
Shigaraki.
Yeah, well, Shigaraki should at least be somewhat fatigued. Like he's been regenerating nonstop. But yeah,
Because he still hasn't taken any real physical injury that would like. If this is about physical injury, I'm just saying that like to me it's like Deku, and Deku's way more than exhausted at this point too. Like I mean, he's been trying to keep Shigaraki at bay the entire time. I'm not sure how much energy that's expending. May not be expending a lot of energy as I'm thinking, but like, still, I don't think he can take on too. Like at best, I think he could take on Shigaraki without All for One interfering. Like, or he can take on One for All, who's barely probably hanging on with a wing and a prayer, but he cannot take on both of them. Like at least like that's why I'm fine with Bago being the one there to help out Deku because those two have had this relationship of like being there for each other and saving each other. Like Deku did at the very beginning of the freaking show where he kind of saved quote unquote Bago. He didn't really do anything. He was grasping at the freaking slime dude, but he couldn't do anything anyway. But like he tried, and like this is a way for Bakugo to repay Deku and also save his favorite hero of all time. Like, and they'll probably explain the whole him getting up and the whole like. I just think it's got to be his quirk being supercharged, because that thing is literally got it's got One for All earmarks all over it. Like what his quirk is doing right now, it's got earmarks. I will concede that I do like that they said at least with the speed element that Bakugo's got going on right now, it's all because his body can't excrete the sweat that his like quirk uses to explode through his palms as much right now. Just he's making enough where it's becoming a problem, and his body needs to find a way to expel it. So it's just coming out all over him. He's just sweating everywhere. And because
that
of that,
sounded so dirty.
and with that, we're gonna end it here because we're almost at 12 o'clock.
Oh wow.
Good night, everybody. See you next week.